Hi, Mariano Gomez here, the Dynamics GP Blogster. Today I want to walk you through setting up a Microsoft Power Virtual Agent environment, along with setting up your first bot and deploying that bot into a test environment. So this particular episode is going to focus on this very new feature that was announced at Ignite 2019, and we will just get through with step-by-step instructions on how to get the environment configured, how to actually set up your bot, and go through the deployment process. So let's see how it's done. So I'm currently here at admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com, and as you can tell, I'm already positioned myself in the environment setting. This actually is a fairly new layout for the admin center. So that is in preview mode. So I'm pretty excited also about showing you some of the capabilities that you have with this feature. So I'm going to click new here. And the environment that I'm going to set up is going to call my test environment. Okay. And the type of environment that I'm going to set up right now is a trial environment. So a trial environment gives you roughly 30 days to test out. So if you don't convert it to a production environment, just know that anything that you've created within that trial environment is going to be deleted in the future. So you can set up the region where you want this particular environment to be located. Since I'm in the United States, I'm just going to choose this as a default environment. And for the purpose of the environment, I'm just gonna set something like test power virtual agents bots. Okay. So we're gonna basically do that. As a recommendation, I always try to create a database for the test environment. That's required anyways if you're gonna do anything related to CDS. So I'm just gonna click next here. As you can see, the experience is slightly different here. These things are already defaulted for you based on the country that you selected. So I really like this new option. Right here, I'm gonna choose or leave the defaults for English as the default language and USD as the currency. But again, depending on what you're doing or your particular region, you might want to do something different. Keep in mind, however, that certain features and certain trial options are only available for the US region as they keep deploying around the world. So if there is a particular feature that you're interested in testing, you might want to select the US region as a default. The other thing too is you can choose to deploy the sample apps and data. That's entirely up to you. I'm just going to click that here and I'm going to hit save. So that should basically go through the process and set up that test environment for me, or that particular trial environment. Boom. So that's getting prepared. As you can see up here, the status is preparing instance. And once the state changes to ready, then I should be very much able to use it for the next step, which is then going ahead and preparing the bot for this particular demo. So hold on, and I will be back in a bit. Okay, my environment is now ready. So as you can see here, my test environment state is currently ready. So that's pretty good because here comes the second part. So virtual agents is actually a feature I'm very excited about because I want to actually implement it internally for our support team and also drive some of our sales operations capabilities. So right now, the Power Virtual Agents is in preview mode. In order to access it, you gotta visit va.ai.dynamics.com. So we're gonna click here, and that should basically take us to the loading page. The first thing you're presented with is the option to create a bot. So let's say my particular bot is going to be called Andrea. So Andrea is going to be our virtual agent. Now, if I click on more options here, you can see that the bot can be assigned to a specific environment. Note that my test environment is displayed here, and that one was actually created as a trial environment. So that's probably where we want to put it if it's a preview feature. But if you have the intentions to deploy this in an environment, then just know that you will want to, and by an environment, I mean a production environment, just know that the features that you're deploying are still in preview. They might be subject to changes, and you might need to rework some of it as soon as the environment changes. So for now, this is a trial environment, not too concerned about features changing or not. I'm just going to go ahead and hit create here. And as you can see, once you hit create, the system starts to work basically on building out that environment for you. Actually, some very cool graphics, if you ask me. So we gonna wait for this to finish. The next thing we can do is we can basically. So here's something I want you to take a look at. It says currently that this could take up to 15 minutes to get everything ready. In reality, when I first did this, prior to recording this video, when I first did a test on this, it took up to 45 minutes. So just know that you're in for a wait, and you really can't start using this environment until, or this particular bot, until things get completely set up for you. So in the meantime, you have the option to go to Microsoft Docs and look at all the literature available on Power Virtual Agents, or you have the opportunity to explore the bot. Okay, 35 minutes later, our Andrea bot is fully created, and that basically means that all the capabilities of now authoring topics, deploying the bot, and monitoring performance are in full effect. So the first thing to note here is you have the ability to customize your greeting. So that basically allows the bot to have a set of trigger phrases that you can use. You can actually say, customize the initial response and all these things that are related to the greeting itself. So the greeting happens to be a topic on its own. So that particular greeting can be found as well. If we go one screen back and click on topics or go to topics, you will find that greeting is also within this list of existing topics. So that's a system topic. It's available by default. So you are allowed to customize or change that greeting accordingly. The other thing to note here is you have 32 total topics that are provided out of the box. Chances are you might be able to find something that fits your requirements or is something that you are looking for that you can customize right out of the box. So think of those as templates. Those templates do allow you to start somewhere without having to necessarily create or invent the wheel from scratch. I do suggest it, just like how you studied templates or template apps for Power Apps or template flows for Power Automate. Um, do take the time to go through each one of these and find something that you can start leveraging out of the box. The other thing to note here is your test capabilities are here. So you can test out all these topics, start out anywhere you think is appropriate, and one of the things that I'm going to enable from now so you can see the coolness of this is the tracing capabilities. So I'm just going to click here on tracing. And I'm going to start out by saying something like, what time is the store closed? Okay, so we'll see what comes up here. Okay, so that topic was understood. Let's try something else. Are you closed now? So we can see now that this is using the store hours topic. And here are all the trigger phrases that I could have used to initiate a conversation with this bot. Now, the next thing that I'm being asked is which location am I interested in? So if I select Redmond, for example, that will show me the path from that particular topic that was selected. Now I'm being asked if that answered my question. So note that here I am in the new topic called end of conversation. This means that you can chain different topics to formulate a complete workflow for interacting with an end user. And this is, level 100 stuff. I mean, ultimately, the amount of work that this would have taken to go through and build this in some other tool would have been tremendously, you know, time consuming. So if I hit no here, for example, then the next thing that I am being sent to is the confirm failure. So here I'm actually saying now that I want to talk to an agent. And what this is do is gonna now bring up the escalate topic, and basically here I start to interact with this particular bot. Now I could have actually chosen to extend this topic itself and say transfer to an agent. And one of the things that I would like to see going forward is the ability to actually uh, tie this into Teams telephony and be able to then ring a particular queue within Teams telephony, say my support queue or my sales queue, in order to be able to direct the user to a live person. So there are capabilities that are really um, gonna be surfacing perhaps in the future that I think are gonna enhance the value of all this offering, along with the ability, of course, to interact with flows or be able to actually have flows call specific or perform specific actions in response to calls from my bot or my bot agent, or my flow be able to respond back to my bot. So keep in mind that these are things that are at least the interaction with flow today is possible, but perhaps the extensions to teams and other things, that's going to take some time to probably surface at some point. So let's go ahead and continue seeing what we can do here. As I said, one of the things that you can visit is the topics. You have 32 existing topics divided into 24 user topics versus 8 system topics that are provided as well out of the box. You can play with those as well. So let's take a look at this particular one called uh, Manage My Account or something like that. Here it is, Manage My Account. So if we take a look at this particular topic, we can see that this topic has a number of trigger phrases, in this case 24 trigger phrases. I can add to these. So for example, change my account information. So if I add this particular phrase here, and I want to then test this out. So let me go back and start this. I can see that if I type change my account information and submit this, then I can see that this phrase now is being added to the list of things to that the bot can respond to. So now it directs me to wherever the next step is, which I can see through the authoring canvas. So I'm just gonna hit this here, and I can see that the authoring canvas then allows me to see exactly the different paths that this particular bot is going to take. So, um, or the particular responses or interactions that the user is going to have with this bot. So if I say update profile information, that's that response right here, and then it takes me and show me where in that where in that topic I'm located at that point. So very cool stuff. I hope you appreciate this initial observation on the topic aspect. But when you're done now, you are able to click on deploy. And the thing is, you can create either a demo website or you can create a custom website. So let's say I want to create it on a custom website. So what I do get though is the ability to copy this particular code, right? And this code can be either leveraged right now by copying and inserting this into my HTML page, or I can basically then decide to publish this particular bot. Once this bot is published, one thing I can do is I can definitely do something very tricky here. I'm just going to select this particular URL. I'm going to open a new tab and I'm going to paste this here. Okay, so hopefully with my bot being published, I am able now to go ahead and see how this works. There we go. So here's my virtual agent called Andrea, and Andrea now is able to walk me through some of the things that I want to do. So now I can see that I have a little box at the bottom of the window that says type your message, and I can say something like um, change my account information. Okay, so let's see. Then here is my bot responding to me. I can say now, for example, add or remove payment methods. So there we go. That's my bot in action. And that request is being sent. So let's see if there's a direct response here. It's currently still sending, so hopefully this will come back. But I think you get the point of what is doable with this. So here's an action. That action could have actually been something that I tie into Microsoft Flow, or trigger some call to a customer agent or something like that. So I hope you like what you saw. Get into the habit of finding a little bit more about this particular um, new feature, Power Virtual Agents. There are some pretty good Microsoft videos that are available. So if you actually want to go on and see what's there, you can click here on Home, and there are currently a list of about 5 to 6 videos that are available for you um, to work through. I think I've actually watched 2 of them, very good videos. Um, you know, so keep exploring the options that are there, and make those a part of your arsenal. So hope you enjoyed this brief conversation, and have a great day.